There is an African proverb that says, when amongst adults, children communicate with their ears. And that's a very important lesson for children to learn at this point in time. When you're amongst adults, you communicate with your ears. Now, my name is Taharka Sankara, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a licensed clinical and alcohol and drug counselor. I'm also certified in trauma-focused cognitive behavior therapy. And with that skill set, I seek to empower youth and families to refine the quality of their relationships by increasing their self-awareness, enhancing their communication, and develop some emotional management skills so that they can enjoy a peace of mind and actually transfer some intergenerational health. Now let's speak about this thing called communication, a healthy communication. I often find with the children that I work with, and sometimes with their parents, there's a miscommunication or instability in their communication pattern, right? They exchange communication in a certain type of way, and children are unfortunately sometimes empowered to speak their minds and speak when adults are speaking. I mean, to the point that they're interjecting, they're highly opinionated, and they get engaged in a conversation with the adults as if they are an adult. And this is where the lines can become crossed up, and it becomes more difficult for the parent to establish themselves as the authority in that child's life. And I think that we can learn a lot from that ancient wisdom about when children are amongst adults, how they should communicate. Because the fundamental lesson is that children are here in a position of learning, and they must respect the fact that their two ears are more beneficial at this point in time, at that stage of maturity, because they are still in the process of developing. And they don't know too much, and they are picking up a lot of things from unhealthy sources, and they are providing that information in the conversation with an adult, and it's usually not a healthy one. And it causes the adult in the picture to get engaged in a certain type of way. And when it's time to correct that child's behavior, they feel as if they have a lot to say, too much to say. They give a lot of feedback, and it often becomes frustrating for the adult because now they really don't know how they should address it. But I tell you, fundamentally, you have to address it early on, and you want to create the pattern. You want to create the authority in that parent-child relationship. And so one of the things that I suggest, I highly recommend that you do, so that you don't run into some of the challenges that a lot of parents run into. They get caught up in the trap of how to communicate or communicating in a certain type of way, and they get caught up in the trap, and they end up lashing out. They end up saying some things because now they have to assert their authority. And sometimes as the adult, there's many adults who engage in physical to assert their authority because they may not have matured in a certain type of way to address it as the adult. And so they may respond or react to the situation in a physical manner, and they end up doing something to the child that hurts the child, and then it jeopardizes themselves when it comes to child protective services and things like that. So I highly encourage you to make this a fundamental rule in your parent-child relationship and not allow children to engage in adult conversations, or even if it becomes too adult-like, they need to probably go to the other room. They need to be somewhere else. But if they are amongst the adults and they communicate, do not allow them to engage in the conversation as if they're another adult. All right? Maintain that authority, maintain that role as the parent, as the responsible adult, and enforce with them that they must communicate with their ears when sitting amongst adults. So I hope that helps you. If you have some of that challenge, seek to implement that, and you can gain more insights. We can have further discussions about things, topics such as this, and youth and with their parents. And I encourage you to join our Next Gen Parenting group, where we get to be a part of that virtual village and like-minded individuals, like-minded adults that have the future in mind and recognize that we are not raising children, we are raising future parents. And so join that Next Gen Parenting group so you could be a part of that discussion and implement some strategies that will assist you in your parent-child relationship. So I look forward to seeing you in that room.